The journey begins by setting and documenting a strong vision for analytics. Think through the business goals and objectives of your organization and ask, how can data be used to drive forward specific business outcomes? Why are we doing analytics? What does success look like? Why on earth would we justify the large expense associated with an analytics culture shift? This sounds voluntary, like a superfluous team mission statement, but we're finding it to be the most crucial ingredient of any analytics project. How many times have you heard that data is being analyzed because my manager told me to, or because the data is there and someone should do something, without any connection to a desired business outcome? A Robert Kaplan study from Harvard shows that as little as 7% of employees fully understand their company's business strategies, where they fit in, and what's expected of them to achieve their company goals. This lack of direction can create an onslaught of so what dashboards and insights that are interesting to leaders, but ultimately miss the mark on meaningful impact. This misalignment between your leader's vision and your analyst's time create massive inefficiencies in your program. One of the ways to close this gap is by proactively aligning and documenting leaders' vision to analytics time so that every analytics conversation starts with the question, how does this project impact the business? Introducing this mapping exercise will quickly reveal that an effective analytics strategy isn't being more data-driven or creating standards of truth. An analytics strategy is a business strategy infused with data and analytics. For analytics programs to reflect that in their approach, they'll need to be tuned in to what the business is trying to accomplish. Sounds great, but how do we standardize the collection and documentation of business strategies? Our alignment approach at Salesforce revolves around the creation of value maps, a one-slide format that aligns relevant business problems to analytics horsepower. Now, there are many names for this process, so be sure to embrace the one most familiar with your company. To illustrate how we move across the value map, we're going to jump into the shoes of the customer experience team at a real wealth management firm. This company chooses to support independent advisors rather than hire them, which creates a low barrier for advisors to switch to competitors and a high importance on retention. At the time we spoke with them, they had just received a troubling round of surveys that showed low satisfaction scores from their advisors. They needed to drastically improve their level of support or risk losing talent to competitors. Now, for the value map, we start on the left with business goals by defining the end result. For our firm, it was to improve advisor experience and reduce transfer rates across service organizations. Any business leader can get behind that, but to track tangible progress, we move to our second column to define the means to achieve those end results. The experience team was going to accomplish their goal by improving first contact resolution rates, driving higher advisor sentiment, and reducing churn. Great objectives. But how will we know if we're progressing them forward? We move into our third column to define the measures of success. For resolution rates, we need to know the percentage of cases resolved on first contact. For customer sentiment, we need to know NPS and CSAT scores, so on and so forth. Now that leaders have set the vision with the first three columns without having to speak analytics, it is up to the analysts to outline what solutions already exist toward these objectives and what solutions they can develop to fill the white space with business-centric initiatives. The analytics strategy is then articulated with the following formula. We contribute to strategic goal for stakeholder XYZ by doing 1, 2, 3. In this instance, we contribute to the improvement of customer experience and the reduction of churn for the customer experience team by driving higher customer sentiment, improving first contact resolution rates, and tracking churn over time. Now that you've confirmed what business impact you're setting out to accomplish, you'll move on to step 2, where we ensure you have the right people and operating model installed to drive them. This step is about confirming that each analytics strategy has the right roles and responsibilities staffed to set them up for success. Each strategy will want a business leader to set the vision and align resources, a server admin to ensure a performant environment, project leaders to ensure content discoverability and that solutions are set up to support self-service, data stewards to advise users on how best to use data sources, content authors to actually develop the analysis, and community leaders to help users access resources, connect with internal experts, and accelerate their learning journeys. If you have an analytics strategy that doesn't have these roles filled, consider hiring them or finding a partner to fill in the gaps. These roles will fall into 3 personas of those that set the strategy by outlining strategic priorities, those that execute the strategy by developing trusted data and analytics content, and those that support the strategy with training and enablement. And once this methodology is ironed out for one business outcome, it can be replicated to spark high impact innovation across the organization. This framework becomes key in transitioning from a reactive analytics program, which queues projects based on the opinions of the highest paid complainer, to a proactive analytics program, which prioritizes projects in a way that maximizes business value, not just puts out fires. Defining the right operating model will position the COE as a partner who accelerates value of the business rather than just a data cost center who takes orders.